You are welcome to Explains 102, where financial tips are made simple. There was a young man named James who believed he was doing everything right. He had a decent job, received his salary on time every month, paid his bills, and worked harder than many of his colleagues. To everyone around him, James looked responsible and successful. He dressed well, owned a good smartphone, drove a modest car, and never missed an opportunity to enjoy life with his friends. Yet, there was one problem that refused to go away. No matter how much James earned, he always seemed to be struggling financially. By the middle of every month, he was already checking his bank account with worry. Unexpected expenses always caught him unprepared, and whenever an emergency arose, borrowing money became his only option. James often complained, "Maybe I just don't earn enough. If my salary were higher, all my financial problems would disappear." One weekend, James attended the birthday celebration of an old university friend named Peter. As they caught up, James noticed something surprising. Peter wasn't earning much more than he was, yet his life looked completely different. Peter wasn't worried about bills, didn't complain about money, and even spoke confidently about investing in a small business. Unable to hide his curiosity, James finally asked, "Peter, what is your secret? We earn almost the same income, but you always seem to have money while I'm constantly struggling." Peter smiled and replied, "James, it's not always about how much you earn. Sometimes it's about the habits you practice every single day." James looked confused. Peter continued, "Most people don't become poor overnight. They become poor through small habits they repeat every day without realizing the damage those habits are causing." Those words stayed with James. As he reflected on his daily routine, he began to wonder if his financial struggles had less to do with his salary and more to do with the choices he made every day. Could it be that the real problem wasn't a lack of money? Could it be that certain habits were quietly draining his finances without him even noticing? The truth is, many people spend years chasing a higher income while completely ignoring the everyday habits that determine whether money stays with them or slips through their fingers. Today, we're going to uncover 7 common habits that silently keep people poor without them even knowing. You may discover that some of these habits are affecting your own financial life, and changing them could be the turning point you've been waiting for. Peter's words kept echoing in James' mind long after they left the party. On his way home, he replayed the conversation over and over again. He had always believed that a higher salary was the answer to all his financial problems. But now, for the first time, he was beginning to wonder if money was not his greatest problem after all. Perhaps the real problem was the habits he had developed over the years, habits that seemed harmless on the surface but were silently shaping his financial future. The truth is that no one suddenly wakes up poor overnight. Financial struggles are usually the result of small decisions repeated consistently over months and years. In the same way that a tiny leak can eventually empty a large water tank, small financial habits can slowly drain your income until you wonder where all your money has gone. That is why understanding your habits is far more important than simply chasing a bigger paycheck. The first habit that keeps many people poor is spending without a financial plan. Many people receive their salary with excitement. Within a few days, they begin buying clothes, eating out, shopping online, and paying for things that seemed important in the moment. They rarely ask themselves one simple question: do I actually need this right now? Before the month is halfway over, they begin wondering why their account balance is almost empty. The problem is not always low income. Sometimes the problem is that money has no direction. Imagine boarding a bus without knowing where it is going. No matter how comfortable the journey is, you may never arrive at your desired destination. Money works the same way. If every naira or dollar you earn has no assignment, It will disappear into countless unnecessary expenses. A budget is not a punishment. It is simply a roadmap for your money. It helps you decide in advance what deserves your attention and what can wait. People who plan their money usually feel more confident because they are making intentional decisions instead of emotional ones. The second habit is living to impress other people. This has become one of the biggest financial traps in today's world. Social media constantly shows us people wearing expensive clothes, driving luxurious cars, traveling frequently, and living glamorous lifestyles. Without realizing it, many people begin comparing their lives with what they see on their screens. They start buying things not because they need them but because they want to appear successful. Some people borrow money to organize extravagant weddings. Others take loans to buy the newest phone even though the one they own still works perfectly. Some spend a large part of their salary trying to maintain an image they can barely afford. The sad truth is that appearances can be deceiving. Someone may look wealthy on the outside while struggling with debt behind closed doors. True wealth is not measured by what people see. It is measured by what you own, what you save, what you invest, and the financial security you are quietly building. The third habit is ignoring financial education. Many people spend years learning mathematics, science, history, and other subjects, yet never take time to learn how money actually works. They know how to earn a salary, but do not know how to manage one. They understand their profession but know very little about budgeting, saving, investing, debt management, inflation, or building assets. Imagine receiving a powerful machine without reading its instruction manual. You might damage it simply because you do not know how it operates. Money is no different. Financial education helps you avoid costly mistakes and gives you the confidence to make wiser decisions. Every book you read, every lesson you learn, and every financial principle you understand becomes an investment that can benefit you for the rest of your life. The fourth habit is depending on only one source of income. James had always believed that his monthly salary was enough. As long as his employer paid him every month, he felt secure. But Peter asked him a simple question. What would happen if your salary stopped tomorrow? James remained silent. He had never thought about it before. Many people place all their financial hope in one paycheck. But life is unpredictable. Companies downsize. Businesses experience challenges. Unexpected events happen. That is why financially wise people look for ways to create additional income. It could be learning a valuable skill, starting a small business, freelancing, creating digital content, investing, or developing any opportunity that allows money to come from more than one direction. Having multiple income streams does not happen overnight, but every successful one begins with a single step. As James reflected on these four habits, he felt uncomfortable because he could see himself in every one of them. He had been spending without planning, trying to keep up with others, neglecting financial education, and relying completely on one paycheck. Suddenly, he realized that his financial struggle was not simply the result of how much he earned. It was largely the result of habits he had practiced for years without questioning them. But Peter leaned closer and said, "James, these are only the first four habits. The remaining three are even more dangerous because they silently destroy the financial future of millions of people every single day." James listened attentively, knowing that what he was about to hear might completely change the way he handled money for the rest of his life. The fifth habit, Peter said, is delaying saving and investing. Many people tell themselves, "I'll start saving when I earn more." But that day rarely comes. As income increases, expenses often increase as well. The habit of postponing saving becomes a lifelong pattern. The truth is that wealth is not built by saving what is left after spending. Wealth is built by saving first and learning to live on the rest. Even a small amount saved consistently can grow into something significant over time. Peter continued, "The sixth habit is emotional spending." Have you ever noticed that people often spend more money when they are stressed, bored, lonely, or even excited? Instead of solving their problems, they shop, eat out, or buy things they never planned to purchase. For a few moments, it feels good. But once the excitement fades, the financial burden remains. Successful people learn to control their emotions instead of allowing their emotions to control their money. Finally, Peter spoke about the seventh habit. The last habit, he said, is refusing to change. Some people continue making the same financial mistakes year after year, hoping that somehow their situation will improve. But nothing changes unless our habits change. If you want a different financial future, you must be willing to make different financial decisions. James realized that becoming wealthy was not about luck or earning the highest salary. It was about replacing poor financial habits with wise ones, one decision at a time. And that realization became the beginning of a completely new financial journey. James' story reminds us that our financial future is shaped more by our daily habits than by our monthly income. The good news is that habits can be changed. Start by planning your spending before your salary arrives. Save something every month, no matter how small. Keep learning about money, build an additional source of income, avoid emotional spending, and make decisions that benefit your future rather than just your present. Remember, becoming financially successful is not about making one perfect decision. It is about making many small wise decisions consistently over time. So, ask yourself today, which of these 7 habits do I need to change? Your answer could be the beginning of a completely different financial future. If you found this video valuable, subscribe to Explains 102 and discover how money works, how wealth is built, and how you can make smarter financial decisions that transform your future. Because understanding money is the first step toward mastering it.